Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Sims 3 speed build. So first up is our shout out to A.A. Simmer. Wrote, "This is so cool, I love The Sims 3, and so do I." I would have to say I would totally agree with that comment. As of right now, Sims 3 is my absolute favorite building game. I just love building in Sims 3, so thank you for your comment, and if you would like to have a shout out as well, all you have to do is leave a comment on any of the videos. It doesn't matter which one, and you may be the next lucky simmer who gets a shout out in the next speed build. So basically what we're doing here is I'm creating a small cottage. It is going to cost your sim approximately 35,000 simoleons. However, if you get it unfurnished, it'll be right around 24,000 simoleons. So this is definitely not a starter home. You can have more than one or two sims in it. It is large enough to maybe have one or two more depending on how you arrange the attic space. But I don't know if you know how many more you're going to want to do. I mean, adding an extra 2 or 3 sims might be a little much. But anyway, what I am doing here, and don't even ask why I decided to do this. As everybody knows, trying to create sloped ceilings in The Sims 3 can actually be more of a pain than it's even worth. And for whatever reason, I had decided that is what I wanted to do. I really didn't have a purpose. I mean, it's not hard to do, but oh my goodness. Sometimes the corner pieces do not always want to bend in the correct spot. Like sometimes they bend inward all the way and they go in and you can't see them through the roof. Other times, like you'll see there's going to be I think 2 of them that you'll be able to see the roof in the corner. You can kind of start seeing them now. I'm trying to work on getting those covered, but they just don't want to bend right. Like they're not bending all the way up from corner to corner. They only bend partially, and it's actually really frustrating actually, because when you actually want to do this and you want it for picture purposes or you're doing something specific, like I had done a cathedral for instance, and I felt like I needed to have that kind of roof, and of course I needed the wall to slope. There was just a whole lot of reasons why I needed what I was doing, and in fact another build that I'm doing, I am also creating that type of ceiling as well, and of course I ran into that problem. If you're paying attention to the way the build is going, and you see that there's the one is indented from corner to corner, and the one I just deleted, for instance, there's 2 of them, they're not bent right, and oh my goodness, I have never figured out how to force those to bend properly. So if you by any chance happen to know how to actually force the corner pieces to bend properly, please let me know, because it didn't matter what I did, how many times I redid it, how many times I took it away and added it back and flattened it out and sloped it again, it never seemed to matter. Those particular corner pieces just did not, no matter what, want to bend properly, and it was, oh my goodness, it was frustrating me. However, you know, if you don't want those ceiling pieces, they can be removed. Don't delete. I don't suggest deleting any of the roof pieces, because roofing in this game needs the floor to be sloped or to be flat in order to add them. So just take your roofing tool and go to the option that allows you to raise and lower them, and just lower them down, and then delete the roof pieces as you see them, or the ceiling pieces, and then you won't even have to worry about it, and it won't mess up anything. Make sure you don't have constrained floor elevation on when you do that. They will delete just fine as long as you have that on, you know, on true. and you'll be just fine. You can just remove them and not have to worry about it. So I did not put an attic through the entire house or through the whole upstairs. This window on the one side can be, if you want to extend it just a little bit, you can extend it. Just make sure you'll have to lower the wall a little bit. But of course that'll already be set for you. You'll just have to, do the sloping yourself. But the attic is actually quite functional. I even put a picture at the very end of the video here. It's the last picture, and it shows a sim standing in the attic. That's just to show you that sims can go up the stairs and they can walk around the entire attic. I tested the entire attic. The whole thing works. I even played in this house for a little while, and I put a crib up there, and I even put a desk and computer up there as well. So the house is definitely fully functional. You can, have a family that's starting to grow a little bit in this, and it'll still be usable. So, and it works really good actually. So I would have to say though, when it comes to my speed builds, the exterior of this house definitely took really long. Probably because I was minessing with the roofing or the ceiling areas for the attic, because this actually is only like a 20-minute video, and the exterior build itself is like over 10 minutes. It's crazy. I don't even do the exterior landscaping right away. That ends up coming at the end, because I think I just got fed up with working with the outside, that I just wanted to continue and get inside of the house instead. So this house definitely, I think, in my opinion anyway, does kind of give off a little bit of a cottage feel. I didn't want it to be too updated. I did want it to feel maybe dated a little bit with the decorating inside. I also, there's no hanging, I don't think I did put a single hanging light. Everything is like wall lanterns. I think they're even candles actually. But I even tried, I tried using the stove and refrigerator that looked maybe a little bit dated. They're green, so I think they're supposed to be older. I'm not really sure. If they felt older, the shape of the refrigerator and the shape of the stove seemed older. So yeah, I tried to make it, seem a little bit dated, using wallpapers that seemed maybe a little bit dated, that maybe felt like maybe the 70s and 80s maybe, I'm going to guess. I'm not very good when it comes to wallpapers. Wallpapers are hard for me to decipher on whether or not, when they were, popular. So I'm a lot easier with architecture than I am with wallpapers and interior decorating. But the windows of this house, let me tell you, they drove me absolutely crazy. I had the hardest time trying to figure out what windows I wanted to do. As you can see, I went through so many windows, and I do sometimes pause the recording until I find the right window, because I don't want to sit here for 10 minutes looking for a window and then expect you to sit here for 2 minutes with it sped up waiting for me to pick out a window. So some of that stuff sometimes is cut out because I sometimes struggle, and as you can see, I went back to the windows and I still struggle trying to figure it out. But these are pretty much the windows that are going to pretty much stay throughout the house. The big picture like window is where the circular stairs are going to be. Then there's only going to be one bedroom. There's one bathroom. I wanted to use stained glass type of windows. I even used the stained glass or the archway that has a stained glass in it as well. And I used the windows with the closed shutters because of the slope ceiling. Those are the best to use. I definitely recommend, if you're going to do anything with ceiling work where you lower it or slope it or anything for that matter, to make sure that you use those windows for sure, because They still look nice from the inside. You don't see any glitching from the inside. And from the outside, of course, you also do not see any glitching, and you don't have to worry about the window. As you can see in that front right there, that window fits right in that itty bitty little peak perfectly. I mean, it was just a perfect fit, and you can't get much of a better fit with any other window. So it definitely works out great for those types of walls and things like that. So this is basically the floor plan of the house. It's very simple. You walk right into like the eating and like, I don't know, just kind of like the foyer, and the dining area is kind of in the same spot. And then of course right there's the kitchen. I do end up putting the washer back on the other side. And I do change out the counters. I really like those counters, but trying to work with the countertop I find quite difficult. I like the style of the cabinet doors, but just trying to work with the darn countertop is just, oh my goodness, I never seem to get it to work right. I don't know how many times I've actually tried using them, and it never seems to work out. So, oh my goodness, I like those, but why did they have to do that with the countertop? Why couldn't it have been something else? Just because you have old-fashioned cabinets doesn't mean you didn't update the countertop. I mean, gosh, to replace the entire kitchen cabinets along with the countertop, do people even realize how expensive that would be, especially if you wanted to do stone countertops? I mean, you can easily reface your counters and make them look fresh and new and updated without replacing the entire cabinet, and then do something different with the countertop and just having a completely different look. But you know, it's kind of hard to do that when you can't even work with the countertop that you have. As you can see, I decided to try, I didn't really like the green, as you could say. To me, a creamy yellow or whatever feels more dated than the pukey green, so that's kind of why I changed the color. I used the exterior stone in the kitchen for the backing. I just felt that helped bring in some more of the exterior and more of the cottagey feel. But this is pretty much it. The kitchen area is quite small. This is where I'm trying to figure out what kind of lighting I wanted, because I didn't want fancy updated lighting or anything like that. I wanted to go with something that kind of looked like it would have been in a house that was, you know, 100 years old or older. I wasn't sure how old I wanted this house to look. It's kind of mixed. You know, I would see a lot of houses that were made, you know, 100 years ago or more. Well, a lot of them will still have old features, but at the same time have updated stuff. I mean, you just gotta update once in a while. So, yeah, I really couldn't tell you how old I was going for this house. It's a cottage. That's all I can tell you. And those candles or those wall light things, I believe they have a candle inside of them, if I remember correctly. So I thought they fit really well with this house, and I love the stained glass doors and the archway. And as you could see earlier, I wanted to try to use some more of the little pieces, stained glass windows. I was planning on using them in the back door area, but you couldn't see them from the exterior, so I really didn't see a point. I guess you kind of can see them from the inside, so I guess I could have used them, but I just didn't really see the point, I guess you could say. So the one kitchen table that's next to the back door, I noticed when I was playing, for whatever reason it doesn't work. I don't know if the bedroom door is like in the way, or if maybe the kitchen door maybe or something is in the way. I'm not sure, but it's definitely blocked. That is the only thing that I noticed in the entire build that doesn't seem to work quite right, as in the Sims can't use it. Everything else the Sims I noticed can use. And I even tried using furniture that I don't normally use. I didn't want the house to be decorated as if somebody with a lot of money was here. Like even the end table there, I wanted it to kind of look like maybe they got it from like a thrift shop, or maybe they got some of the stuff from a garage sale or something, maybe, you know, like with the old TV. Just a few different things. Just because you get something from a thrift shop or a garage sale or something doesn't mean you don't actually pick up things that go with your house. I mean, there's a few things I've picked up for myself that I only buy just because I know it's going to go with wherever I plan on putting it. So, just because you got something cheap definitely does not mean that it has to be mixed matched. So, and yes, for me, putting the bed off center is kind of irritates me. And yes, I do realize that I do not have a door into the bathroom. Apparently that I am notorious for doing something like that. I just did that in a Sims 4 build actually just a couple weeks ago. I didn't even put the door in for the bathroom, and then I had to move everything later. At least this time it was just a light and nothing else that I had to move. But yeah, leave it to me to do something like that. But yeah, some things actually really kind of irritate me, like a bed that's off center just drives me absolutely nuts. Or like a rug, for instance, that isn't actually like where it's supposed to be. Like, I don't mind rugs that are maybe put down to be crooked or sideways or whatever. That's the way they're supposed to be. That's where you meant for them to be. But when you have something that is slightly off, that just bugs me. I don't like that. I can't. My other thing is I cannot stand a crooked picture. Is there anything else you guys can't stand? I mean, myself, oh my goodness, I see a picture and it's crooked, I have to fix it. It cannot be left alone. It's got to be fixed. So yeah, and that toilet paper was driving me nuts. See what I ended up cutting it out. The toilet paper is there, but you have no idea how long I sat there and I fought with it and fought with it. It did not want to go in. I hate it when it does that. Whenever you have like a small space, and sometimes not even a small space, but just the fact that it's a corner wall, sometimes it just does not want to go on. Pictures will do the same exact thing. All you have to do is delete a wall. Usually only have to delete one wall, and then you can usually put whatever it is you want in, and then of course put your walls back in, which is so frustrating and irritating. I used the lights again to help light up the attic. It is not lit up really well. Attics, at least the attics I've been in anyway, are not brightly lit. And I felt that this was lit actually pretty good for an attic. At least I felt it was anyway. I do not furnish the attic or anything like that. It is pretty much there for you to do as you wish. If you want to make, maybe put your painting easel up there or computer like I did, or whatever it is that you want to do, it's up to you. So I pretty much just kind of left it go. This is pretty much the backyard or the decorating that I will do. I do put in some basic plants. I use the hydrangeas, which I do use a lot, but this time I chose to use only white ones with a bunch of other shrubs that don't have flowers. And I have to say, I definitely miss shrubs in Sims 4 that don't have a ton of flowers. I mean, I like the look of the flowers. I like the plants, a lot of them actually, much better than Sims 3. But I also like having plants that don't have any flowers on them at all. I like that so much better. I even take the hydrangeas in this game and I add a bunch of shrubs inside of them just to tone down the flowers. Just so there's a little bit of color, but not a whole bunch. So, but yeah, we're getting pretty close to the end of the build here. The screenshots are coming up. And like I said, the very last screenshot does show that there is a sim up in the attic, so the attic definitely works. Just a little bit more exterior lighting. I even put a couple of lanterns down just to add to the whole aged and cottage feel. And this is the build. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any comments or suggestions, go ahead and leave them below, and I will see you next time. Have a wonderful day. Bye.